my 4 years were worth it. I can say that. And I had a lot of fun. I got to know a lot of cool professors. I made lifelong friends. I look favorably upon my college experience, but I waited before I went. I took 8 gap years before I went back, right? I always tell people now, most people, I know how much of a knucklehead I was at 18. Come on, man, I didn't even know who I was or where I was going. That gap year works. Why not take some time off? They don't want you to because universities are depending on your loan money. They've made their budgets based on money that you borrow that they don't have to pay back, you do. Hey, welcome to What's Your Problem? I am Scott Farrell, your host. Thanks for joining me. Now, let me go ahead and get some housekeeping out of the way. If you have any questions about anything that we talk about on this show, wyppodcast.com is how you find about us. But if you have a problem that I've never covered, send it to me. problem@wyppodcast.com. All right, today's topic is in the handy piece of paper here. Should I attend college? Why am I handling this topic right now? I got this question from a girl who's 18 this past weekend. And basically I just wrote down what I told her. But as a teacher of 20 plus years, I taught, good grief, I've taught in every group. I had kindergarten, elementary, middle, and high school over 20 plus years. But our high school kids would ask us, should I go to college? Now, I know that the school systems are pushing everybody to go to college. Should everybody go to college? The answer is no. And then I think back to when I was a kid. They were not pushing everybody to go to college when I was a kid. 70s and 80s, early 80s, late 70s, early 80s. It was, you go to college 4, you go to tech school 4, you go straight to the workforce 4. In our high school, you could get certified and be in carpentry, electricity, being a brick mason, cosmetology, etc. You could already have your license by the time you graduated. I mean, our high school really was like Greece. And it was great because all my friends that did that are doing really well now. So you always have to sit and go, all right, why do we as people attain, why do we go get a college degree? Well, when I was a young man getting ready to leave the high school experience, it was to make money. All right, we're going to college to better ourselves, to get the ability to go earn X, right? Why do people tell me now they go to college? Well, I want to find myself. I just want to be there. I want to go for the experience. And I'm like, hold up, homie. Let me get it straight. You want to spend $100,000 to $150,000 to go experience life, to find yourself, to get a sculpture degree. You can never make money. Not that I don't like sculpture. I'm just saying. To get a European literature degree, whatever it is. And this is, I'm getting this from people that have told me these things. Knowing you probably can't get a degree. It's funny, a Far Side commercial did. Final exam was, what can you do with a philosophy degree? That was the final exam for a philosophy class from Far Side. And the answer was wait tables. So it always amuses me. So I wrote down what I said to her. All right, so let's look at it this way. The average degree, I went to a private school, a private college. So I won't throw that in there. I'm going to do public school. So public school, let's say I'm in the state of Georgia. Let's say I attend a Georgia university. So let's say it's $25,000 a year. All right, so 4 years, that's $100,000. That's easy math. The folks in this room right now, front and behind the camera, all went to private schools. So we'll skew the thing if we do this. So we're staying with public. All right, so let's say it's $100,000. All right, so I always have to look and say, this is an investment. I'm getting ready to put $100,000 into this. No different than buying a rental home. At least with a rental home, I know if I put $100,000 in, I'm going to get some rent back, and then I'm going to get all the tax benefits, and the IRS is going to treat me favorably. Is my college degree going to treat me equally as favorably, right? Is this going to pay me back? All right, so then you have to say, all right, so if I'm going to spend $100,000, what degree do I need to get to pay not only the money back, but also make a living for my family? I might have kids, things I want to do, are there vacations I want to do? Then I want to retire, right? So it is about making money. I hear people tell me all the time, but I want to live my passion. I'm passionate. Stop. I'm not Mr. Feelings anyway. Stop living your passion. Live something that's going to put food on the table. Passions are for hobbies. I'm passionate about my wife and I'm passionate about comic books. Neither of which, you do not want me to sit here and recite all the comic book stuff I have, all the rings I have, and how much I geek out over Batman. That's probably not going to serve anybody's purpose. That's my passion. My wife's my passion. My family are my passion. My job is America's behavior expert and being a pastor. That's my job. And I got my degree in behavior and education. See, that put food on the table, right? So right now, if you look this up on the internet, what degrees are paying people back? Math and science. Math and science always do. Finance, architecture, mathematics, any realm of mathematics. Medicine's always going to. It's just, again, now that amount went from 100 grand to probably 3, maybe 400 grand. Now you're thinking, is this feasible? Can I pay it back? So you always have to look at, should I go to college? Can I pay the loans back if I have to have them? And can I feed myself for the rest of my life? Now, granted, a lot of people will go get a degree and then not use it. So here's my question. Why did you get the degree in the first place? I know a lot of people that got a piece of paper and have never used it. I use mine every day. I've used it since I obtained it. I used it previously before I got obtained because my mentor I was with 3 years before I finished my degree. So I was actually using what he was teaching me. So again, why do we go to college? To make money. Pure and simple. Yeah, I learned a lot of stuff at college. I think my experience was invaluable. My 4 years were worth it. I can say that. And I had a lot of fun. I got to know a lot of cool professors. I made lifelong friends. I look favorably upon my college experience, but I waited before I went. I took 8 gap years before I went back, right? I always tell people now, most people, you know, I know how much of a knucklehead I was at 18. Come on, man, I didn't even know who I was or where I was going. That gap year works. Why not take some time off? They don't want you to because universities are depending on your loan money. They've made their budgets based on money that you borrow that they don't have to pay back, you do. I can't tell you how many horror stories I've already heard about loans being taken out. Now, I don't believe that the government should bail you out. I paid for my degree, you finish paying for yours. You borrow the money, you pay it back. But don't borrow the money until you know why you're borrowing it. You're not going to go buy a car and borrow money without buying the car you want. Or are you going to go borrow 60 grand on a car you can't stand? Or are you going to go buy a house you hate and then finance 300 grand on a house you don't want to live in? No. So why would you do that for a college degree? Now, I realize that high schools are designed to push people to college. That's foolish. I always thought it was foolish. I told people it was foolish when I was a teacher. Plus, about 20% of the kids leaving high school right now, this day, are ready for college. It's never changed. We've poo-pooed trade schools. Last time I looked, we're about short on people that can do carpentry, electricity, and brick masonry. We need these people. We need HVAC guys. We've got a shortage of these people. Why? We told everybody they had to go get a 4-year degree. Didn't matter what it was in. It does. It does matter what it's in. All right, so let's see what else I told this young lady. All right, so I covered all the questions. Now you have to look and go, all right. A lot of people have family legacy, law, medicine, architecture, being a CPA, you name it. That's cool. Everything I just named pays itself back. But chances are, if it's a legacy thing, that's not a loan attached degree anyway. What doesn't pay? Well, here again, you can go right straight to the internet and write in what college degrees don't pay any longer. And I was watching something on YouTube the other day. YouTube's a source of what's paying back, what's not, what's the hot job for the future, what's not. We're teaching kids to go get degrees that are obsolete by the time they're finished. Was my degree obsolete when I finished, or is it now? And the answer is no. Are people always going to have problems? Are people always going to display behaviors? Are people always going to need help out of their messes? I got job security, man. And with this being the craziness in the world now, I tell my wife every time we go to the grocery store, it's like a gold mine. I'm never going to go without clients because people are at rapid pace making bad decisions now. And What do I do for my coaching service? I take your bad decision, help you put together a plan, and get you out of it. That's what we do. We help people solve problems. What's the number one way to make sure that you can always make money? 3 things. Solve a problem, be the best at solving that problem, and be irreplaceable. If you can do those 3 things, then you will make money the rest of your life. You will not have to worry about making some money. Now, what's the fastest way to mess all this up? Live by feelings, live by your passion, do what you love. Stop listening to these motivational gurus who are just trying to make money off of you. This advice is free. Last time I looked, we're not charging for this. This is free. Take it. Do what's going to put food on the table. Now, this young lady I was talking to the other night, amazing musician, amazing. And if this were the 80s, I probably would have told her 100% go to music, keep going. It ain't the 80s anymore. The music business has completely changed. Now, the great thing is it's changed in some ways in favor of the artist. I got a camera. I got a mic. I got a computer. Can I make my own music now without a record company? Yeah. Yeah, there's a show called Ted Lasso. There's a kid named Cam on there. He's a street performer. Now, what you don't know in the show, Cam comes off the street and plays a great song for the show. Cam's actually a famous street performer in London. He and his buddies play originals and heavy metal songs, and they're amazing. And Cam plays, it sounds like about 8 instruments simultaneously, with his feet and his hands and everything in his mouth. And it's amazing. Type in, so do yourself a favor, go to the internet and type in Cam, street performer, London. He's got albums, he's got everything, but it's funny because he'll just pick a place in London, throw it out on Instagram, and then people show up to hear him play. Now, he's featured in clubs, but these guys like just playing on the street. And now they're kind of the norm, so everybody comes out to hear them. And I could not believe this guy was a real street performer. I thought they hired a professional musician, dressed him up as a hobo, and then let him go. No, those were Cam's real clothes, and that's what he really uses on the street. So my thing is, let's say this young lady wanted to pursue music. I always tell people, just like I used to tell my athletes that I coached, what's your number 2? What's your backup? I used to tell people, it's just like with NFL, not for long. Sports has this much of a window, and then you go on with life. Music sometimes has this much of a window, then you go on with life. My wife and I were stage, and in our business, you get over 30, you're a choral singer in the back. I'm in my late 50s now. I'm a choral singer in the back, but you know that, and you know that this is something I really enjoy, and it is passionate for me, music. Also knew I'd better go do something else to make a living. The overnight successes normally take 20 years, and I've got some buddies right now, the guys from Kicking Valentina, talented musicians. They decided to get together, just 4 of these guys, and now they've hit it big at over the age of 40. They all had their careers, and then they decided to give it one more shot. And if you get to catch a show, man, these guys, some of the sweetest people I think I've ever met. They're wonderful guys. I got a chance to interview them right as they started. And every time I get a chance, I go to one of their shows. But these guys understood that they were passionate about music, but they're even more passionate about their kids and their wives and their families. So don't ever confuse passion with making money. Always understand, remember, if you want to make money, solve a problem, be the best at solving that problem, and be irreplaceable. That's how you make money, and that's how you decide your college degree. Then your side project is, and a lot of times you can turn your side project into, music makes people happy, music does solve a problem, and music brings joy to people. But don't ever confuse, I want to do my passion, because you'll have a lot of YouTube gurus who want to sell you a course on living your passion. And they'll talk about feelings, and they'll talk about love, and they'll talk about everything but making money. Does anybody care if you like potted plants and you want to do that in your backyard, or the fact that you like to cross stitch on the weekends? Now, if you can sell that stuff, that's great. But how many people really want to see you do that? People approach me all the time. You think this will make a show? No. Do you think I should write a book about my life? Why? Nobody cares about your life. I had to go kicking and screaming to let somebody make a movie about my life because I thought it was stupid. And I wondered if anybody would care. I'm like, man, I'm just like everybody else. Why would anybody care about my life? Turns out a lot of people did. I was wrong about that, and my wife overruled me. Okay. But the same thing with my books. Why would anybody want to read my books, but then they end up being bestsellers? But you always have to evaluate. Am I solving a problem? Would somebody really take the time to read this? And is it beneficial as a whole to people? If it is, then you got something there. So I hope I've helped with this. We spend so much time talking about feelings and not enough about money. Yeah, last time I looked, we're in an economic world, and it's going to take money to survive, and you got to pay the house payment, the car payment, or let's say you're debt-free. You still want to buy food. You still want to go places. You still want to have things, and that takes money. And if you have kids, well, boy, we're empty nesters now, but we do remember how expensive that was. People always go, why do y'all go out to eat? We're empty nesters. We don't have kids anymore. We don't have all that stuff to pay for anymore. As I look at the youngsters through the camera and behind it, I just smile because, I'm on this side. I'm on grandpa time now. So grandpa always has more disposable income because he ain't got all the things to pay for. Why? Because he chose wisely with his degree. My wife and I both have our degrees paid for. We both did go to college, and we both use our degrees every single day of our lives. So we chose degrees that were based on what we want to do for a living and make money, and we both solve problems all day long. All right, so I'm Scott Farrell. Thanks so much for tuning in. Now, if you have something that I haven't covered and you got a problem that you want to talk about, that's cool. Send it to me, problem@wyppodcast.com. Also, go down, subscribe, hit that subscribe button because we want to be able to be a service to you. Also, we have tips and resources at our website, wyppodcast.com. All right, so if that's simple enough, that's cool. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Tell you what, I'll see you next time. I'm Scott Farrell. If you have a problem, let me know. We're always here as a resource for you. Take care.